Hey Floss Tube, Miss Cookie Stitcher here with my first video of 2019. Today I'm going to show you a few of the finishes from 2018 that I really love, as well as what I have in the works for 2019. I'm keeping it pretty fluid so I can change my mind. Nashville Market will be coming up in a few weeks, or at least the previews will be coming in, and I know I'll be ordering some of those. So I don't want to restrain myself in any way. I just want to stitch what I like. So otherwise, what's the point, right? So try not to restrain myself too much this year. So we'll see how it goes. I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. I did here. Tomorrow, Friday, will be my last day, the 4th of break for winter break, and then I'll be going back to work, teach my children some more U.S. history, hopefully, and then we'll have 2 9 weeks. We're halfway through the school year already. It's amazing to me, and the adjustment to the new school has been a little bit, it's always a little bit rocky because it's a new job, it's a new place. You have different students, you have a lot of different variables in there, but as far as it being the worst transition, definitely not. I pretty much moved in and knew what I wanted to do as far as that's concerned. But I hope everyone had a great Christmas and is going to have a happy new year. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with probably my favorite finishes. I have quite a few piles around here. It's a mess in here from all the Christmas crafting. So I'll just go for it. One of the ones that I finished was Denise, the 2017 Pincushion doll by Julia Manfredini. I did change the colors because I already had the half doll. So I wanted something that matched her as opposed to, just doing the blue. And my friend Kelly found the half doll for me at probably a thrift store or an antique store. And this is what she looks like. All right, so it's kind of hard to tell from the colors, but she's a little bit more of a light bluish green. So I changed the colors to a purple, a lilac-y kind of color, and that darkish green color down at the bottom. I left the white as is because it was perfectly fine. The fabric was really stiff, so I had some problem, as you can see, just gathering her waist up. So she just got a giant bow in the back, because who doesn't need a big poofy bow on their dress? The form is just a cone from like the flower section, a styrofoam cone cut to size. And placed over that, and a dowel was inserted in the center, and she rested on that, and I kind of glued her down. I don't plan on changing her. I don't plan on doing another half doll. Like I said, one is enough. I don't have room to store them all, and I think it's pretty just on its own. There's also a pin keep, which I stitched, but I haven't finished. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet. So it's stitched and it's ready to go. I don't have any of the accessories because obviously the pins aren't going to match too well with the colors that I picked, and a lot of the accessories are pretty pricey. So it's worth it if that's what you're into. I'm not. She's good the way she is. I'm just going to keep her that way. So that's Denise, the 2017 Pincushion doll. So that was one of my favorite finishes of the year. Another one was by Manny DiDonna, the Eliza Allen Sewing Kit. And the stitching part is like, I can breeze through the stitching part without too much worry. The problem I get is the finishing on the inside, because I don't want it to look bad or anything. And this one, the kit came with the pins, the thread loops, and the finishing fabric on the inside. Sorry guys, I don't remember, and I don't have my journal up here for any of the color changes on the Denise or any of the thread on this. So I thought I had it all together. I didn't have it all together. But the inside, you have a little, like 3 little loops for thread, and then the pins came as part of the accessory kit as well. I think the lace, I supplied that. And she does suggest gluing these pieces down, and I can't do it. This is like a little pin or needle keep right there. So yeah, I think I have those, you know, pacemaker warning magnets in there. I mean, you just watch how quickly that goes down. So I have those. This is for scissors. And then, oh, yeah, there's a little wax in here. So whenever I decide to use that, if I can get it out, it's just a really pretty flower for the wax. So I might use those. I'm currently using one that I finished that I'll show you as well because I like those. But 2018 was the year of fiddly finishes because this was a fiddly finish. I probably, those are my initials right there. You know, I'm going to do my initials. I mean, I finished the stitching pretty quickly. But I wanted to take my time with the finishing, so I did that when I was on summer break in 2018. And generally when I finish fiddly stuff, I spread it out over 2 or 3 days. And I'll show you one I specifically did over 2 or 3 days because I didn't want to rush it, and because then I make mistakes. I didn't want to do that. So that was the Eliza Allen sewing sets. Put these away. Another one that I have finished is the Ancient Lady Sewing Box, also by Manny DiDonna. I just love the box. I love little tiny miniature things. I don't like finishing them as much. This one definitely took 3 or 4 days, maybe upwards of a week. But it came with a little pin cushion with the little pins. All right. And it also came with the finishing fabric. So it's pretty stripe. And the stripes were nice because it helped me to just keep it straight, keep the fabric straight, knew when I was gluing it to the chipboard what was going on. And then there is the box. Alright, and that's all covered. And then on the inside, I used ribbon to wrap around. I just glued it on the inside because it was just a little bit easier that way than having all these crazy lines of fabric. So there's also another part to it that I didn't do. I just couldn't get it to fit right. There's this medallion on top with the kind of cameo looking piece. And I did it. I stitched it. Can you see her? The lighting's horrible. It's been raining for like a week. So there's her little face. But to cut the piece of, I think I actually used Bristol board, to cut the piece out in an oval to stick in the medallion and wrap around was beyond my abilities. So what I did instead is I had this cameo that I bought, you know, probably at a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby, and I just glued it on top. By that time I was done. But I love this little box. I don't know if I'd do another one, but I just love it. It's pretty. It's something that you would set on a dresser, and it's gorgeous. So that one, Ancient Lady Sewing Box, love it, love, love it. One thing I would suggest if you do something this fiddly, a lot of the designers from Europe work in centimeters. And when you're working with Bristol board or need a very exact measurement, and with this you do need exact measurements, I suggest using the centimeters instead of the inches, because then you don't have to worry about sixteenths. you can go down to the exact millimeter. And that's a lot more precise than the inches and the partial inches. So if you do get one of these designs for something like this, definitely suggest using the centimeters, because the box came out because of that. I had to cut it twice because I just didn't have a ruler exact enough for the inches. So it's another one of my favorites from the year of fiddly finishes. Another Mani Dodonna that I did is the Americana sewing set. And if you see on hers, it says Land of Freedom with the double O's. And she puts a note in it. It says, in this sewing set, I have wanted to write the words freedom with the 2 O's because many years ago, I have seen an old sampler embroidered by a little girl with this little error. I have read this wrong word and have thought that the freedom word was still more intense. So, I didn't, I couldn't. Got cat hair all over it. Isn't that great? So I just did Land of Freedom 1776, and the front of it is Liberty and Hope, and it came with the Old Glory button, and on the inside there is the scissor place, the place for pins. The Old Glory is a another pin keep, and it's got the don't have a pacemaker and use it pins in place there, so you can keep your needles. And you can actually make a cord and make this into a scissors fob, but I haven't done that. And these hoops right here, if you're ever looking for like a thread loop and want something a little fancy, my LNS is also a beading store, so she had a lot of, you know, jewelry making supplies, and so I just used that. Again, forgot the fabric, forgot what I fixed. I think I used the called for threads. The pom-pom is Dames of the Needle. Is that right? Yes, Dames of the Needle pom-pom that I used. I thought that matched pretty well. And the backing fabric on this is something I got a pack of fat quarters that was like Americana themed. So I used that. I thought it fit well with the colors. So that was another very fiddly piece with a lot of glue and a lot of very careful stitching. This one also had, you know, glue the pieces down, and I figured out a way to sew them before I sewed the back on to the outside, which is why, again, with the fiddly stuff, 3 to 4 days. I'm going to do something else. Last of the fiddly pieces is an MTV cross-stitch design called Dancing Dragonflies, and the picture's not super great, but it comes with a pin cushion, a pin keep. I also got the accessories of the pins and the thread keep. I did change the color. It called for Silken Colors and Thread Gatherer, but I converted it to DMC, and then I took the DMC and found Gentle Arts and Weeks and Classic Colors that fit. So that's what I do a lot of times. If they're silks, I will find the DMC conversion, and then once I pick those DMC colors, I'll go to my store specialty thread section and I'll pick the ones that are close to that. Or I'll go in my stash and I'll find ones that are close. So I have enough stash that I can do that. But this was supposed to be on Weeks Dye Works 32 count linen gold, and I couldn't find one that I liked, so I went for more of kind of a lagoon color. That's not the name of the color, but I chose this green instead. And it has Krynic, different color Krynics, and there we go. And the back also has some of the sparkly chronic as well. That was a pain in the rear end counting that. The inside, okay, it's kind of backwards because I sewed the fabric in wrong and I didn't check twice. So it opens like that, but down here is a pocket and you put your threads in. And that's the little thread keep. And it also came with a needle minder. So I just keep that attached in there since all of that goes together and not with the rest of my needle minders. So it closes like that, but that's actually the front because I wasn't paying attention. It also makes a scissor fob, and it's kind of big for a scissor fob. I wouldn't attach this to any of my small scissors, especially since I made this big old cord to go around that. And I just used like a strand of the different colors in the pattern to make that, except I used DMC because I have a ton of it. And then lastly is the Viscornu, and it has a dragonfly along each side, and on the bottom it just has that pretty flower motif. And I didn't use a button on the top or the bottom. I just used I think one of the chronic threads or a thread very close to the fabric to work on that. So there is that, a little shadow on it just from where all the lights are. So that was the other fiddly piece. I think I have one more fiddly piece. I do. And I got this, it was a kit from Nashville, and I think it's Praiseworthy. I don't remember, I don't have the box anymore. But it is, and I'm currently using this in my current project, but it is a pins and needles Stitch 2018, and I could have put my initials down there, but I was over it. And it comes with everything that you need. I did leave one motif half finished, and by that point I noticed, see that flower right there? I didn't finish the other half. By the time I noticed, it was already sewn together, and I'm like, I'm not gonna mess with that. You can also make this really tiny medallion, I guess, that goes on the end of the fob, and I did have it on the end of the fob, but the way the linen was sewn, it just kind of broke through. So I'm gonna have to figure out another way to attach it on and kind of redo it. But it also came with those beads to finish the scissor fob. And it did not come with the pins that are in here, but it's a good spot to tuck them, the marking pins. And it came with everything but the marking pins. And I wish on this side I had separated them. I still can. But I don't really utilize those too much. So that was my last fiddly piece. Among my favorites, I mean, I had, I think, a total of 17 different finishes, which for me was pretty good. I felt like I hadn't done anything all year. And, you know, with a variety of different projects that I just started and some that I had in the works for a while, it was good to have some of those finished. So I'm going to move these fiddly pieces over. And I think I will get on my, no, I have one more favorite piece from 2018. And I showed this one before, but it's Florentina by Mirabilia. I love her. She's just so sassy. She's got that side eye. See a little better? Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. It's alright. And then, of course, my favorite bit is Miss Kitty right here. Just like also looking off to the side without a care in the world. I thought I'd put my initials on this, but I haven't because I can't find it anywhere on this. So I'm going to have to go back and find a thread, and I usually just like to put it in a spot where I would notice it, but it's not going to be too obvious. So that was another one of my favorite finishes, a day short of 3 years on the scroll frame. So that was nice to finish that. Alright, so my goals for right now, my current goals. And these are subject to change. I try not to put too much pressure on myself. I'm hoping this is going to be my first finish, and I might actually finish it today or tomorrow. It is Believe in Dreams by the Primitive Hair. Okay, and I'm doing it most of the called for colors except for the border. If you see the border, all right, it's kind of like golds and browns. It called for Brown Bear by Gentle Arts. And I also used, I used the DMC equivalent as well. Instead of using for the unicorn itself, it called for Antique Lace. I'm on my second skein of 822. And I think I used a partial skein before that. So I think it looks perfect just the way she is. And I hope to finish that up. Now, I'll show you the picture of it. This came from April 2017, just cross stitch. And that's her right there. And I'm not putting the words down at the bottom. Believe in Dreams, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to have the unicorn. And the brown that I used was Old Oak Tree by Classic Colors. But this is an older one. It's still a Crescent Colors tag. So that dye lot may have changed as well. So if you don't like Brown Bear or whatever, just go and take a look if you're able to. So that's the easiest thing. Conversion charts with hand dyed, over dyed tend to, because the dye lot changes, they're not always true to the DMC. So if I can, I prefer to just kind of look and see what looks best, if you're able to. I know a lot of people aren't by NLSs, so I'm double chin. All right. Another one I want to finish, though, let's see. Let me do what I want to finish. Maybe next. I didn't pull it out. Okay. What I want to finish next after that, and this one has a ton of cat hair on it, even weaving cat hair, is one of the Shakespeare's Birthplace from Down Under Designs collection of English cottages. And I started that one, and I like it because there's a lot of color blocks. So I can do, y'all, the cat hair. Oh my goodness. I mean, it looks like a house now. It does. The roof is there. It's maybe about half done. And then once that one's done, once I can work through that one, I'm just going to go ahead and start Anne Hathaway's cottage because I feel they just go together. And I already have all the threads together because a lot of them overlap. So then I'll work on this one, which has a lot of similar colors to it. So while I have them out, might as well finish that one. I have my needle minder. It's, I think, just a magnet my friend Kelly made. So it's supposed to be a pendant or something, but it's all right. So yeah, that'll be next once I finish Believe in Dreams. Another whip that I want to finish this year is the one that's my FOMO one. I saw Michelle Bendy that she did, and I had to do it. Haunted Mansion by Tiny Modernist. And I know the light's not great. I'm doing my best. I'd hoped to be further along. I wanted to keep up with the rooms, but by the time they all came out in November, work had been crazy at that point. Work's always crazy. I mean, it just is. And I think that's true for most people. But November, and then you get the holiday season, and it just wasn't calling to me anymore. So, and then I had to do Christmas stitching, which I'll talk about in a second, because I'll have to insert some videos. But yeah, I got that much done. Don't remember the fabric, don't have my journal lot, but yeah, if you want to know, just leave a comment and it'll be good. So those Believe in Dreams, the 2 cottages, and the Haunted Mansion, those 4 are in my top 4 to finish. I'm not going to say no starts because let's be real. I can't keep that promise. I might see something that I want to give as a gift or something that's really stitched to really quick to stitch up. So, you know, there's that. Another one I have to start because it's a borrowed pattern is a stitching parlor pattern. And I actually might go kit that up today. And it is Her Royal Highness from the... I can't math, y'all. 20, 60, 60, the 60th platinum, what? Diamond? No, what? I don't know. One of the Jubilees, 2012, the last one, whatever it was. And I have some stuff that would go with this, not the sewing box, not the fabric, just some 50th, you know, Queen Elizabeth stuff to put on it. So, a friend of mine let me borrow this, so I just kind of want to get it done, at least stitched up, so that I can give that back to her. I don't want to hold on to stuff unnecessarily long. I mean, if it's mine, I won't stitch on it. But if it's someone else's, I want to try to get that done. So maybe we'll kit some of that up today. And it's signed. I mean, it's like I have to give it back. It's a signed pattern, you know. I gotta give it back. Can't just not do it and keep it here for years on end. Another one I want to start this year, no particular order, y'all, is Ella, the Frog Princess. This one. Except I'm doing the purple conversion. So I'm working on this fabric, which is 30 count, Weeks Dye Works Honeysuckle. And this side's all janked up. But it's kind of hard to see the color. It is a nice, you know, daffodil honeysuckle color. So I have my conversion. The threads are all ready to go. That's a little better. Threads are ready to go. The beads are ready to go. I don't know if I'm going to change the beads because I bought the bead pack, the embellishment pack. I'm like, I don't want to have to change them. I mean, the only one I'm worried about really is the orange. The rest of them will go with the purple and maybe, okay, the orange. Maybe like that one and then the orange one. So I'm going to, and the flowers, I don't know. So I'm going to try to do the dress first and then work from there. I also thought about doing her in the fuchsia conversion. I even have it all written down. I got it off of one of the Mira sites. It's gorgeous, but I have everything kitted up for the purple. So, you know, if I ever feel compelled to do it again, I hope not. I've got enough to stitch without stitching Mirabilia again. Hopefully, you know, then I might decide to use it, but I just can't now. And the green's pretty too, but frog's green. I don't want to, you know, I can't fit everything back in the box, y'all. It's tragic. I'm having issues today. Every day. I started this one last year. I was doing a stitch along in the Brenda Keys group on Facebook. I should not be part of stitch alongs because it doesn't work. So Brenda Keys Sampler Company. This one's called Over the Hills. And it's on some fabric. Who knows? I don't know anymore. And my paper, I put it in the other. Hold on, let me get another sheet. I'm just struggling. I'm like on the struggle bus. Here we go. Over the Hills. And that's what I got done. That's it. So, I can't remember if, I think it's 36 count. I can show you a picture of what it's going to look like. I don't even know anymore. It happens. There we go. That's what it's going to finish as. King George commands and we obey, over the hills and far away. I'm not even going to try to bother because I'm all tongue twisted today. But I'm using DMC colors, the called for, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm not going to change any of that. Just, you know, to be pretty. So, and it is 36 count because I can just tell by the way the stitches are. I still do 2 over 2, so 2 threads over 2 threads. I haven't started doing 1 thread on 36 count and 40 count. I've always done 2 threads. And y'all, my first 1 over 1, oh my goodness. Early in my getting back into stitching, I did a wedding sampler for a friend of mine, and there was a piece that it was pretty much 1 over 1, and I didn't know you did 1 thread over. So I did 2 threads, and it was pretty poofy. It was pretty poofy. I know now. Did I finish those threads? Yeah, okay, I just couldn't tell. But yeah, it was touch and go for a while. I'm sure it looked like crap, but she loved it, and you know. Alright, my oldest whip. I got this when I went to England in 2010. So yeah, and I started it probably in 2010, 2011, so it's like 7 years old. And it's a John Clayton, and it just reminded me of Pemberley from Pride and Prejudice, and it's called Under the Arch. And I've got the top half done, so, you know, as long as we don't need a mirror reflection, excuse me, I could finish. And it's Ada, and it's not the Ada that's stopping me. It's not the fact that there are, I don't know if they're called half stitches or not, but they're, yeah, like, if you can see here, you have 2 vertical half stitches, and then 2 horizontal half stitches. So that's not even getting me once I figured it out. So, you know, you see here's the full cross stitch, and then there's a vertical half cross. And it shows you that, you know, on even weave and Ada. So I figured that out. I think it's just, I don't know. I need to finish it. So that's also going to be up there with Shakespeare's Birthplace and Hathaway's Cottage and the Haunted Mansion. It's going to be in the top rotation to get that done. So those, and I will be so glad when this is done and I have a bag freed up to put another project in. Not that I'm ever going to run out of projects. It's funny when I go to my LNS, the owner, Donna, she's like, I didn't get this in today. And I'm like, Donna, I have nothing to stitch on. And we all have a good laugh because we know that's not true. We all have something to stitch on. We all have many, many things to stitch on. So that's not a problem at all. And then I started working on this. This might be like some small pieces that I work on. It's a bunch of threads. I am working on some of this Sweet Land of Liberty by those people, Blackbird Designs. Struggle. Get off the bus and get on the train. It's a struggle train. Got all kinds of people on the train with me. That's what it's going to look like, and I'm working on this part. Okay? Not sure what date I'm going to put in there. Maybe, you know, like 1776. Could do that, but then my initials wouldn't fit. Do my birth year, but then y'all know how old I am. Okay? And then, you know, what would I put over here? I don't know. We'll see as it comes. And I'm working on this kind of remnant fabric. I got that from Donna does $5 bags of linen from, you know, the odds and ends, the remnants from the yard that she buys. So that's going to be one side. What's that called? Liberty Rose. These all came from remnants. So I'll be starting in the middle for sure on these. And then that's going to be the other half. So it'll be those two. Yeah. Alright. So that's that half. Then I'm also going to do, I mean, I want to do all of them eventually, but I'm just thinking about what I can achieve. In Full Glory, which will be on this. And then, I bet you already passed this one. No. Sweet Land of Liberty, which is, which way do I go? This one, I love houses, so I think that's really what pulls me to some of these. It's going to be on this, which is a 32 count. So I do know, you know, what counts they are. I just don't know what colors, who made them, whatever they are. So that is also going into, that's probably will go into my travel. And I'll take that to Stitch Group. That would be a really good project for that because it's just a couple of colors until you get to the others. For Liberty Rose, it's just 3 colors. And I changed one because the fabric on the rose part in the Weeks Dye Works, it blended in too much together. So that's what I did there. So those are whips or things I want to start. There are tons of others that I want to start too, but I'm trying to be realistic. And get those. I don't know if I'm able to get those finished by spring break. It's April. It's like I got exams, and no, I don't have exams, but I have grading and I have grading and lesson plans, and there's a long period without breaks. So because of snow days. So the only thing I can hope for is that we might get another snow, and I can just sit at home and stitch, but I don't know how likely that is. We did get snow in December. And we were out 2 days because some of the schools were without power. And then we had a 2-hour delay for another one. 2 days out and a 2-hour delay. So, and then we had a hurricane day because of winds. And it wasn't that windy. Back in my day, we rode the bus even when, yeah, it's a lot different now. I remember during Hurricane Hugo, and it was pouring lightning, thunder. My parents still drove me to school, and I still went to school. So it's completely different now, I guess, because of liability. You know, you don't want that bus to roll over in the wind with kids on board because that can cause quite a few problems. There are a couple of projects. I have a chest downstairs that has my whips in them, and I have more down there. They're just not in the current rotation, and I don't want this to be, you know, ages long. But there are a few that I took out, and they're going to go back into my kitted ain't getting started yet projects. And one is, and I like it, but I don't know if I'm going to get to it, is At the Beach by Hands On Design. So I do want to stitch it. It's just going to be a little bit, depending on what else happens on. I think it'll be a really, really quick stitch, but I'm just not in the mood for it. And another one came from a retreat. That came from a retreat. And this one, next one came from a retreat, and it comes from Stony Creek's Winter 2014 Cross Stitch Collection. And I did one part of it, and there are actually 2 designs. Oh my gosh, look at all this cute stuff. I want to do it now. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Everything's fine just the way it is. It's in the back where I didn't look. Oh, here they are. So it's the 2 towels down at the bottom. Cupcake and coffee. And they look very much like Mary Engelbright designs. Maybe they are. Probably not. But, you know, just the colors remind me of the bright colors and some of the designs, especially this one right here, the cherry shirt. That one reminds me of Mary Engelbright. And I actually finished that one on that towel. And it's in my kitchen.
even though my kitchen colors don't match. Like, but all three of them, like this one and this one, remind me of Mary Engelbreit designs. So I have the towel, and I want to do cupcakes because I love a good cupcake. If there's cupcakes in the teacher's lounge, I'm probably going to be the first one there. If you send an email out saying there's cake in the teacher's lounge and I go there and you haven't put it down there, don't send the email out. Because then I'll get cranky. And then, because I'm, where's the cake? I haven't had a chance to put it down there yet. Put it down there. Didn't you send the email, Joy? So, that one's going to go back up in the, maybe one day box. Because there are probably other projects. There are definitely other projects in there I want to start. And if I keep looking at this one, the guilt sets in, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, so those are things I want to work on, things I want to start. My hair got all crazy. Things I'm not going to work on this year. I'm definitely not going to work on. A few pieces of haul. Oh, what else I'm going to work on? Y'all have these pins. I'm not a pin person. And so I decided, Mia gave those to me. I decided that I was just going to make needle minders out of them. That was her idea when she gave them to me. And then this one is a happy planner, plan a happy life. We'll talk about that in a second. But I'll plan a happy life. I'm also going to do that because I wasn't going to wear it anywhere. I thought I had magnets, but I still bought new magnets, but I didn't get them strong enough. I really want the pin to hold on tight. I don't want the don't wear your pacemaker while using this magnet type of magnet, but I think I need to go to a ceramic magnet, and I have some at work. So I don't want to go back to work, but at the same time, I need to go just to get those magnets. That's my priorities as a teacher. I need to go back to work to get the magnets, not to teach the children. Anyway, so I'm going to do that. And part of me wishes that I had kept some of the Beauty and the Beast pins that I bought while I was at the Disney store. But then I told myself, you can't keep stuff just because you might do something with it in the future. I've seen where that's gotten people into trouble, people close to me. And I keep too much stuff, but I also know that if I keep it right now, 6 months from now, I'm probably going to say you need to get rid of it. Or even a month, I'll look at it and go, you don't need that, take it to work. And then I leave it when I leave the job. So that's it, because I have too much stuff, and my craft room's a mess right now, and I need to clean it up. So I'll just add those, and I'm not a big needle minder collector. I do have quite a few, and then I find more that I didn't think I had. But there's Cleo. Hey, baby. Sweet girl. Look at that tail flopping. Look at your sweet tail. She's sniffing the pink cushion. See? Hey, Cleo. Oh no, she doesn't want to talk. So she's all one for attention. Anyway, so yeah, I don't have a lot of needle minders. I do like to match my needle minder to my project. If I can't, I'll just pick one out that I like. I have a couple Dr. McCoy ones, a Beauty and the Beast one, some Pusheen ones. Just looking at what she's licking my stuff. Now I have some Donald Duck ones. These are my favorite. And just some random ones that, like I've made. So if I come across these, I'm probably just going to make a needle minder out of it and then have a huge collection of needle minders. But since I'm not a pin person either, I'm not going to go out and look for pins to turn into needle minders. So how about haul since my last video? And my hair has gotten crazier. It's all about the struggle train. Might need to get on the struggle plane or the struggle cruise ship soon. I bought this, the Mirabilia cross stitch designs. You didn't want to see that, did you? Such a furry tail. And I'll probably do this one day, the cameo, But I might do it on a piece of colored fabric. I am not buying the water lilies just for that. I can't. And I might not even, are there treasures in there? I can't even tell where the treasure is or what the treasure is. There are beads. I could swing the beads. Oh, I see it now. It's like right there. No. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I bought it. But, and I looked, and I'm like, why is Lady of the Flag not in here? You know? I mean, like, it's a classic. Everybody is, like, wanting to hurt themselves. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to give you all a finger there. Sleeping Beauty. Wish I'd gotten that one when I had the chance, but I'm not gonna worry myself over it. But yeah, I thought this might be, you know, some of the re-released ones, a collection of those, but I guess not. And stop. Okay, she's trying to get into a box. She loves getting into boxes and needing paper. Can't do that. Alright, so there's that. And then I probably showed y'all Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day by Blackbird Designs. And of course, just like a lot of people, I'm disappointed this little guy right here is not in one of the patterns, but I'll get a magnifier. I could work something out just from the picture. I also got Home for the Holidays. I don't have enough Christmas stitching. I haven't really gotten into seasonal stuff until this year, just so I can kind of decorate the house with it. I also got, and I have the summer welcome, spring welcome. I got one of the welcomes from a retreat that I need to work on first, and I got Halloween just because of the black cat. So cute. Oh, this is spring. I must have summer because that's the spring one. The summer one has the flag on it. Those are more purchases for it later on. I don't have thread or fabric for any of them, but the summer one that I haven't started yet, that I got for my last retreat. And I found fabric for Sarah Mary Larkworthy, and I got all the DMC. I'm doing it in DMC. I have a budget. All DMCs. I have a budget. And this fabric is, we didn't write down the name, but it's platinum. 40 count. It's my fault. Usually I fill out the tag. 40, it's 40 count platinum, whatever that is. So, while I'm still thinking about that I will do with one thread. I know better now. 40 count is one thread over 2. I got that. No more mistakes on that. And it'll probably be the first project. If I start it this year, I'm probably not going to start it this year. It depends on other things, what I decide to do, how many whips I want to finish. Old whips, because, you know, I'm going to start new stuff and have new whips coming up. So I think that's it for cross stitching. Oh, a planner. So, I've had time to watch YouTube and some Floss Tube videos, and I stuck with some of my tried and true ones. Saltbox Stitcher, Michelle Bendy Stitchy, Priscilla and Chelsea, of course, the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch. But I also started watching Sunshine Stitchers. And I noticed, you know, how they do the YouTube and, like, the thumbprint comes up and they show part of the video. Well, EJ had a happy planner, and it was one of the Miss Maker line. It's not this one, because this is the mini planner. She had the big classic planner, which I wanted one that size, but if I'm using this just to keep my crafting in, once I go back to work, I'm going to have less time to stitch, because I'm just going to have to make PowerPoints and grade papers and stuff. But I do have, I missed some. Yeah, Thankful Owls I might start. But otherwise, I've hit all the rest of these. And that's just kind of my check it off. And what I want to do
is on the monthly, just kind of go in and write it on the day which one I worked on. And then second and fourth Fridays is stitch group. And what I've done here is like every day. So I have unicorn stickers when I work on the unicorn one. I don't know what sticker I'm going to use for Shakespeare's birthplace because there's not a lot of Shakespeare stickers out there. But I write in the check off just kind of what I want to do as far as craft is concerned. And so I can probably cross off all of those today, which is great. Now, once we get to next week, that's going to be a different story because I may not be able to stitch every day or craft every day or do what I want every day except sleep. So I noticed that EJ from Sunshine Stitchers, she had a plan for her classic, and I had to say that. And I want to try to get her name right, Shelia, did I get that? And there's Gary too, so I'm following them on Instagram now. So following all kinds of people on Instagram. My feed is planner stuff and craft stuff and cross stitch stuff. Haven't seen anything lately that would enable me to do too much. So I want to do a shout out to the Sunshine Stitchers. Also want to give a shout out to Michelle Bendy Stitchy on her 80 whips or starts. Yeah, her 80 starts. That's more power to you, girl. I wouldn't be able to keep all that straight, and I have at least 3 different books that I write my stuff in. I don't have that many project bags. Let's be real. I'd be putting them in gallon-sized plastic bags. That's where I'd be at. Put them in gallon-sized plastic bags until I free one up. So that's another thing I want to do. I want to finish some whips so I can free them up for new projects. I mean, like, I have stuff that's kitted up, and then I have stuff that I want to get fabric for that I'll do one day. I have patterns that I bought because I was afraid they were going to go out of print before I could get them, and I don't really have any current plans to work on them. And I should organize that. So I've gotten into this planner kick. I mean, I'm done with the cross stitch, so if you want to, you know, thank you for watching. But I love planners. I just can't help myself. It gives me I think the illusion that I have my crap together, and I really don't. I have a classic size happy planner that I do for personal and work stuff. The work one, the teacher edition, isn't quite working for me this year. So I think next academic year, once that one's through, I'm just, instead of having both, because I have a transformer planner, which is when you put parts of 2 different planners together with the covers, and then you can flip from one to the other. So I like to keep my work separate from my personal, so I have a transformer planner, but I think once I hit June, I'm going to start looking for an academic planner that's just basically functional, and I don't have to worry about decorating or anything like that. So, which I don't know why I do, and but I do have, I've started a gratitude journal, and the insides are a combination between what you get at Michael's, like the recollection kits. These stickers, these date stickers, are Chrissy Ann Designs. And then for each day, I just kind of write something that I'm grateful for. And I know some days it's going to be obvious what I'm grateful for, and other days I'm going to have to pull, hey, guess what? So-and-so didn't get sent to ISS today. That's awesome. Because sometimes that's really how it is. You have to really celebrate the small stuff. But the paper comes from the Planner Society. The Planner Society does like monthly kits with different papers and supplies that are themed. And so this is the December kit. And I like it. It's like these nice soft pastels. You get die cuts. You get clips. And you can use pretty much even the packaging material, because this is part of the packaging, and it just looks gorgeous with everything. It's all themed and everything. So I might work on some of that today. I also have a B6 planner, traveler's notebook from Print Impressions. I mean, it looks like leather. It's not leather. It's amazing.
He did such a great job on these. And this is the November kit from the Planner Society. And I've got monthly inserts, and I have weekly inserts, and then I made myself a folder. And those, you can't see those. Those are my passwords. It's my password book. I mean, it's just gorgeous stuff. And I'm sorry. I'm horrible at this. And then just, you know, random stuff. So this goes in my purse with me, and it's just kind of a catch-all, whereas my happy planner is more of memory keeping. I write down things that I want to remember from that day. So I think that's all I have for y'all today. Thank you for hanging out with me for an hour, just about. Again, I hope y'all had a Merry Christmas, and I hope your 2019 is really fabulous. My word of the year is gratitude. And grateful. I feel those two go hand in hand, so I might use them interchangeably. But I just really want this to be a year of growth. And so I just want to be thankful for everything, the big things, the small things, the things that get me through a day. So I hope y'all have a great 2019, and thanks for hanging out with me. Oh, before I forget, at the end, I'm going to insert my National Park Santa videos, because I finished those, but I gave them as a gift. So I made videos of how I put them in the shadow box, and like as I finished them, and those beards nearly did me in for the Santas. My hair just, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm being so vain today. But those beards nearly did me in, and I would construct the beards off the Santa, and then I would tack them on the Santa. So if you struggle with Mill Hill National Park Santa beards, that might be the way to go. So for serious this time, I'm going to add those videos in at the end, but I hope y'all have a great 2019, and thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you.